Let's talk about the equity markets. Some areas are also not very cheap, especially if we look at the US.
Yeah.
Within equity markets, where are the best investment ideas right now?
Well, I agree with you that the valuations are high in an absolute sense. So this is also what a lot of the equity markets people about the US market are telling you. PEs are high compared to history. In a relative sense to many other asset classes, we spoke about fixed income, actually equity markets, even in the US, look attractive. So the equity risk premium, the additional pickup in potential return that you get or yield that you get from dividends in equity space is still at its long-term average. It's not really tight. But then if you zoom in on the equity market, I agree with you, from a valuation perspective, the US is least attractive. Also, the economy in the US is most advanced. The likelihood of Fed hikes is much higher than the likelihood of BOJ or ECB hikes. So we also have a preference for other regions. And the region that is most obvious to us, and this is a little bit what linking back to what I said about emerging market debt, is emerging market equities. They benefit from this broad-based recovery. Valuations in emerging market equities are not yet very high. And more important, they are, although they have become more popular this year, over the last 5 years they've had quite a weak performance. They're not over-owned yet amongst international investors. And they benefit from the recovery in growth and the recovery in earnings that you see in almost all emerging markets now. It's really broad-based recovery. So this is really an asset class in the equities that we like the best.
Within emerging markets equities, which areas are likely to outperform in your opinion, and where you can see more vulnerable areas?
So we normally do not play the big regions. We more zoom in on individual countries. We have some caution in countries like China, where domestic economy is slowing down a little bit. Like Mexico, where the political situation is a lot more uncertain. Some of the smaller Asian countries as well. Turkey and South Africa, also due to political dynamics, are not really countries that we think will outperform. They will probably still lift on the better sentiment for broad emerging markets, but not outperform. So we're more looking into recovery story in Argentina, in Brazil, in the Latin American region, some of the countries in Central Europe, in the European region. Tactically, I think also Russia has an opportunity on the back of somewhat better oil prices, a return of growth in Russia, and countries like Korea that benefit from the strength that we are seeing in global trade. Clearly very noteworthy in recent months, global trade, export numbers are picking up again. You also see, even today, strong import numbers in China. That helps other emerging market economies. So export-oriented countries are the countries that we like in emerging markets.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.